You all want to know why Jon Moxley is no longer in WWE. You all want to know why the Revival asked for the release in January after a match with Luke Lucha House Party. You all want to know why Sasha Banks, Luke Harper, and many, many others in the last 3 or 4 months have asked for their release. Just watch tonight's episode of Monday Night Raw. This show was an abysmal abomination of a wrestling show. This was absolutely pathetic. A lazy excuse for a ratings grab. What do we have now? The brand split. The brand split does not fucking mean a damn thing. We go Superstar Shakeup for like 2-3 weeks in a row. Then WWE decides we're going to have Roman, Daniel Bryan, Kofi Kingston, Lars Sullivan, and Elias all show up on Monday Night Raw. Oh, I have an epiphany. We're going to do a wild card rule. Where at the beginning of the show is three stars from Raw can go to SmackDown, and superstars from SmackDown can come to Raw, and that's it. And then Lars Sullivan shows up and is like, let's make it 4. Absolutely pathetic. And on top of that, WWE decides, well, the Warriors and the Rockets are playing tonight during the third hour, so let's have Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre in a WrestleMania rematch. On top of that, let's have a WWE Championship match WrestleMania rematch between Daniel Bryan and Kofi Kingston to main event the show. Even though, and they build this as the first WWE Championship match in 3 years. Almost 3 years, even though the night after WrestleMania, Kofi Kingston came out and challenged Seth Rollins to a champion versus champion match. That match started. It wasn't one of those things where like the match was going to happen and then the bar attacked before the match. No, that match lasted for about a minute and a half. So for them to sit there and say, for the first time in almost 3 years, a WWE Championship match was absolutely stupid. On top of that, you have the Revival, who, if I was them, as soon as this show was over, as soon as this segment was over, I'm getting my gear, I'm going home, and I'm not coming back. Because they had the Usos, who are one of the best tag teams in the fucking world, on their payroll. They signed a new 5-year contract, and what are they on? They were one of the best tag teams on SmackDown Live. They come over to Monday Night Raw, and they were comedians. Last week, they do the whole shower scene segment. This week, they have them put some of, like, it's like something like Bengay or something into the Revival's tights that will activate after they start to sweat. So, yeah, if I'm the Revival, I'm leaving. You have Lacey Evans destroy a jobber in like 2 minutes, while the 4 women for the Money in the Bank ladder match for the Raw side are standing at ringside in proper formal attire because Lacey Evans requested that. This show was absolutely ridiculously bad. It's just everyone wants to say, "Oh well, the ratings don't matter. The ratings don't matter." Oh really? So why is Roman Reigns, Kofi Kingston, Daniel Bryan, Elias, Lars Sullivan all on my screen on Monday Night Raw? Why did WWE cancel a SmackDown Live house show that was supposed to happen tonight so you could have Roman Reigns, Kofi Kingston, Daniel Bryan, Lars Sullivan, Elias all show up on Monday Night Raw? If the ratings didn't fucking matter, none of that would have happened. But the ratings and on the third hour last week dipped below 2 million. And even though you had a WWE Championship match and Roman versus Drew McIntyre in the third hour, you had for the first 20-some minutes and through a commercial break, Roman Reigns, Daniel Bryan, Kofi Kingston, Seth Rollins, and AJ Styles all bicker and bitch and fight and argue with Vince McMahon. So right after that, we have Vince McMahon go back and say, I'm going to get 2 superstars to face you. And I thought it was going to be the Good Brothers of Gallows and Anderson coming to face off against Styles and Seth Rollins, which would have made sense if they wanted to turn AJ Styles heel. You could have had the Good Brothers attack Seth start the match. And AJ Styles turns on him, and you have the Good Brothers and AJ Styles, the club, back together to beat down Seth Rollins. They didn't do that. I gave you 2 guesses who the hell they picked. Because Drew McIntyre was facing Roman Reigns later on the show, so it couldn't have been him. You ready? Did you pick? Oh, yeah. The same two motherfuckers outside of Drew McIntyre that Seth Rollins has been dealing with since October at least. Bobby Lashley and Baron fucking Corbin. You had a 23-minute and one commercial break, 2 segments, I'm sorry, because the commercial breaks count up segments because that's how it goes. But you had 2 segments of Vince McMahon fighting, arguing with superstars. You then have Baron fucking Corbin, of all fucking people, show up to wrestle a match. And then the ratings dip from there. You want to change the ratings? You want to get people to give a shit? You don't have these 2 segments that you had, these 2 talking segments that lasted 23 to 25 minutes, and then put a match on with Baron fucking Corbin and Bobby Lashley. I got up, I went to play a little bit of Warframe on my Switch while this match was going on, just because I fucking could. I got at least 2 missions done. That's all I'm going to say about that. Because, quite honestly, who the fuck wants to see Seth Rollins and AJ Styles, who can't get along because they're going to be facing each other at Money in the Bank, and it looks like we're going down the heel route for AJ Styles again? Yeah. And again, I may ask this. Why is anybody want to be a champion in WWE? All you're going to do is lose non-title matches over and over and over and over and over and over again. AJ Styles hits a phenomenal forearm onto Seth Rollins. He walks away, and then Baron Corbin and Bobby Lashley win that match. Yay, who gives a fuck? This was an absolute train wreck of a show. Abysmal. I'm hoping the Bucks, Celtics, Warriors, Rockets hurt WWE's numbers. Because quite honestly, this is absolutely pathetic. And on top of that, this is outside of the NFL season. This is not NFL season yet. You think they're doing this now? Wait till we get to the NFL season. Just wait till we get to the NFL season. More of this bullshit is going to happen. And then when we get to Fox, watch SmackDown Live dip below 2 million on Fox, and don't believe if it doesn't get better within the first month after that happens that WWE SmackDown Live is canceled on Fox. I literally, as soon as we saw Baron Corbin and Baron Corbin and Bobby Lashley versus Seth Rollins and AJ Styles, I'm like, I'm out. I checked out. I watched the show again, but I was like, I can't deal with this. You had the Lucha House Party we had the Lucha House Party versus 3 jobbers after a Sami Zayn promo that ended with Braun Strowman chasing him out of the ring, around the arena, to a garbage can, throwing him into a dumpster, and then a garbage truck coming over and dumping the garbage truck, the dumpster into it. Yeah, so it looks like Sami Zayn and Braun Strowman are going to be feuding post Money in the Bank. Yay. Yeah, not a good show. We had Robert Roode versus Ricochet, and Ricochet, out of all 8 individuals on the Money in the Bank card, at least in the Money in the Bank ladder match, at least on the Raw side, is the only guy who had to put his opportunity up because the week before he got named into the Money in the Bank ladder match, he lost to Robert Roode. So that, I guess it makes sense, but still, you couldn't have Robert Roode versus Ricochet, the winner, going to Money in the Bank. That would have been a lot better, and you would have saved yourself a week. Of course, who do you think won the fucking match? Because WWE took what looked like we could see a big-time heel built up in Robert Roode. Did you think he won? No. No. You're not allowed to win. You're not allowed to win 2 matches in a row anymore. Ricochet had that for from February to last week, or 2 weeks ago. 50-50 booking. Robert Roode is already losing, even though he had a gimmick change. He's not the glorious Robert Roode, not the glorious Bobby Roode anymore. What is the fucking point of trying to be a star in WWE? Champions lose every single time they're in a singles match. We had the tag team champions come out in a jobber entrance against the War Raiders. Yes, the War Raiders, Viking Raiders, whatever the fuck you want to call them. They lost. They faced the War Raiders, Viking Raiders, whatever, in a match where the Viking Raiders, War Raiders, got their entrance. We go to commercial break. We come back, and the tag champs are in the ring. Just shows you how much WWE fucking cares about the tag team division or anything. We had that whole segment with the Revival and the Good Brothers later in the show where both teams got a jobber entrance. So again, WWE making a mockery of the tag team division with the Usos acting like fucking jackasses and the Revival being punished because they didn't sign the 5-year deal. And again, after we go over that, if I was the Revival, I'm getting my bags, I'm getting in my fucking rental-car, I'm going to a plane, and I'm going the fuck home. Fuck WWE. Fuck this shit. I bust my ass and go out there and try and put a great match that you try at any time that you give me a chance to. And I don't want to stay here because you don't want to fucking give me the opportunities you don't want to give us the opportunities that we should be afforded to be able to try and have. Why the fuck would I want to stay? Anybody who fucking thinks this is fucking funny, anybody who thinks this was a fucking great comedy segment, you're a fucking moron. You need to get off of social media. You need to go crawl in a hole and just perish away. I'm sorry. If you thought that was fucking funny, if anybody thought that was fucking funny, you are the dumbest fucking idiots, and you are what is wrong with this fucking fan base. Plain and simple. Anybody who fucking laughed at that, anybody who thought it was funny, go fuck yourself, because that was not fucking funny. It was just downright retardation. Also, what happened on this show, Rey Mysterio was backstage with his son after it was announced that Rey Mysterio, due to beating Samoa Joe last week, is getting a United States Championship opportunity at Money in the Bank. Okay. So we couldn't have Rey Mysterio go up against somebody else. By the way, what's Cedric Alexander at? What's Cesaro at? Those guys were on the post-Superstar Shakeup Monday Night Raw. When the Superstar Shakeup was supposed to happen the first week, they were on the next episode of Monday Night Raw. They had a match. Cesaro beat Cedric Alexander. They haven't been seen since. You could have had a triple threat match between Rey Mysterio, Cedric Alexander, and Cesaro. The winner would go face Samoa Joe at Money in the Bank. Oh, no. Let's just have Samoa Joe lose again, and we're going to give him a chance. We're going to have Rey Mysterio win. And looking back on it, because they showed a replay of the pin, God, Samoa Joe looks like a fucking blithering idiot. Just gets rolled up, doesn't move for a minute, and then kicks out, and is like, oh, what the fuck happened? Like, really? Give me a break. Lacey Evans are against the freaking jobber. Who gives a shit? I'm just going to ask this. Becky Lynch is the double champion. Yeah. She's on SmackDown champion. Give this woman a week off from television. Just because she is champion on both fucking brands does not mean we need to see her every single fucking week. Enough of it. Enough. You see her twice a week. That's too much. That's overexposing her. It's just fucking ridiculous. Yeah, it's like, oh, well, people cried and complained when Becky Lynch wasn't used on TV. There's a difference. You can use her, like, one week she's on Raw, and the next week she's on SmackDown, and vice versa. You flip it around if you have to. She was on Raw tonight after the Lacey Evans match, and the fact that Lacey Evans can't cut a promo to save her goddamn life. At all. She is boring. She is just... I don't believe anything that comes out of Lacey Evans' mouth. I don't. I believe nothing. And that is a problem. In order to be able to be over and be somebody you can actually take serious, if you open your mouth, I need to believe what is coming out of your mouth. And I don't fucking believe what's coming out of your mouth. When Shayna Baszler opens her mouth and says she's going to, like, pretty much fuck everybody up in the women's division until she gets respect, I believe what she says, because she's gonna actually go and do that. Lacey Evans, I don't believe a damn thing. It's just so fucking bad. The women's division on Raw was standing outside the ring while Lacey Evans beat a fucking jobber. It was the 4 women in the Money in the Bank ladder match. And as we talked about on Unscripted, if Sasha Banks was still here, she would have been standing out there instead of Dana Brooke. Where the fuck is Ruby Riott? Where the fuck is Sarah Logan? They haven't been seen since before the Superstar Shakeup. I just can't even. This show was fucking pitiful. Absolutely fucking pitiful. And you wonder why the ratings are down. You wonder why WWE had a drop in the revenue last quarter. You wonder why people are just tuning out, why attendance is down, why people just don't give a fuck like they used to. Because the 70-plus-year-old senile old fuck who started the show tonight doesn't give a shit about what anyone else is saying, what anyone else wants to do. All he cares about what comes out of his fucking brain, and everything he does is a fucking bomb. Not in the right way. Oh, he's supposed to now, everything he does, he says he's a genius. He came out tonight and did the whole, it's a wild card, we're going to have a wild card rule. Oh, I'm a genius. It's not, and everyone was like, this is Vince McMahon's new character. It's not a new character, it's just Vince McMahon as he always was. Just saying it a little bit different. It's nothing different than Vince McMahon 5 years ago or Vince McMahon 10 years ago. Vince McMahon thinks that everything that comes out of his mouth, everything that comes out of his thoughts, is a fucking genius. And the problem is, he has guys in the back, men and women in the back, who just sit there and it's like, that's great, Vince. Oh my God, Vince. Oh my God, Vince. That is such a great idea. Oh, yes, Vince. That's good, Vince. Seriously, we need somebody to step up and say, Vince, you are a blind, old fucking fuck who needs to shut the fuck up and let other people do this. You're not the fucking genius you were back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and early 90s, even though the early 90s was fucking pitiful. Vince McMahon has not got it. Vince McMahon has lost it. And this is absolutely tonight's just one of the worst shows I've ever seen. You thought last week's show was bad. If you missed this week's show, you missed nothing. It's just, Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder lose to the Viking Raiders. Yay! How many times are we going to have champions on the main roster lose? Non-title matches. And I guarantee you, between now and next week, we will hear, at Money in the Bank, the Viking Raiders versus Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder for the tag team titles on the pre-show. That's a pre-show match to WWE. Because Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder are pre-show guys. They are. I have nothing against Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins, but the way WWE has booked them, they are pre-show guys. I just can't. Got a Firefly Funhouse, which my TV dropped down on me for a second, so I missed the whole segment. I'll have to watch it later, but we do have Bray Wyatt is here, Mercy the Buzzer, Abby the Witch with Wyatt tonight. Mercy ends up getting rid of Rambling Rabbit and apparently eating him because he didn't like him due to his bohemian beliefs. Wyatt said it's perfect to express yourself any way you want. Wyatt also mentions a message that anyone can be forgiven no matter what. As the segment ends with Wyatt sitting with a bunch of bored-looking kids telling us he will see us next week. Okay, I'll have to check that out later. I'm just going to tell you that's what they have written down here. Well, same with the wrestling meeting to get that second there, because I'm like, Firefly Funhouse, I'm like, oh, okay, so that's what they got. So I'll have to look at it later. Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre. Oh. How many times are we going to need to see this match? How many fucking times? Roman Reigns said he was starting Monday Night Raw to he was coming to Monday Night Raw to take care of some unfinished business. Oh, really? I'm pretty sure that unfinished business could wait till next year. When the Superstar Shakeup happens next year, when they say, well, Roman Reigns isn't good on SmackDown, we're going to bring him back to Raw. But no, what was that business? What was that unfinished business Roman had to deal with? Is it Shane beating up on Miz on Monday Night Raw? No, because Shane can go to both Raw and SmackDown. So, what was this unfinished business that Roman Reigns needed to take care of? Oh, that's right, they never figured that out. Absolute fucking pathetic. That match ends in a DQ because Shane McMahon and Elias come out. So, oh wait, we were supposed to only have 3 guys from each show. Vince says later that it didn't count because Elias was with Shane. Why does the brand split even exist? This is the same, they're going down the same road that we got from like 2008 to 2011. Or 2007. Whenever the ECW SmackDown crossover thing happened, because like Teddy Long was no longer SmackDown, he was on ECW. He was talking to the SmackDown GM, whoever the fuck that was at the time. And they made a deal that superstars from ECW and superstars from SmackDown can cross-promote. Then he was like, well, we're going to talk to the Raw GM, and we're going to do the same exact thing. So superstars from ECW can show up on both Raw and SmackDown, and superstars from SmackDown and Raw can show up on ECW, but they could not show up on Raw and SmackDown. The SmackDown couldn't show up on Raw, and Raw couldn't show up on SmackDown. When ECW went away in 2010, we got the Raw Super Shows, which had Monday Night Raw Superstars and SmackDown Superstars on Monday Night Raw. 2011 came midway through 2011, and Vince and the brand split was dead by then. The brand extension was dead. Pretty much, it was just in name only. Triple H comes out on an episode of Monday Night Raw and was like, hey, we don't need the brand extension anymore because pretty much everybody's on SmackDown. SmackDown Live Superstars are on Raw as it is. So there's no need for that brand extension. So it's just Raw and SmackDown are one brand. And that lasted for 5 years. 2016 comes around, we get a brand extension because USA Network because WWE wanted SmackDown to go live, and USA's only condition was, yeah, we'll put it live, but you have to split the brands and put half on Raw and half on SmackDown. Well, most 60% on Raw and 40% on SmackDown, or 70% on Raw and 30% on SmackDown, because Raw has 3 hours, SmackDown has 2. And WWE is already not even the brand extension on its own before it got crazy lasted 6 years. 2002, before they started, it was 5 or 6 years. 2002 to 2007, 2008. This only lasted 2.5 years. And now we've had the brand extension from Royal Rumble to the brand split from Royal Rumble to WrestleMania was non-existent because Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair showed up on Raw whenever the fuck they felt like it. And then, of course, after WrestleMania, a week before the Superstar Shakeup, we had people from SmackDown coming to Raw because Kofi Kingston faced Seth Rollins in that title for title fake out that they did. And then we had the Bar attack them. And then we had Braun Strowman, Drew McIntyre come over to SmackDown Live. Just because WWE's like, well, we're advertising the Superstar Shakeup. Okay, fine, whatever. Superstar Shakeup comes. I'm like, okay, we're going to get things back in order. Roman's going to go to SmackDown. AJ's going to come to Raw, and everything's going to be fine. Nope, we have not just 1 week, not just 2, but 3 fucking weeks of Superstar Shakeup. Absolutely fucking ridiculous. This has been absolutely awful. We thought 2018 was a bad year for WWE. 2019 is going to make 2018 look like a good year for WWE. This has been fucking pathetic. WWE's ratings are continuing to fall, and it's just getting worse and worse and worse. And nothing that WWE can do to fix this. If they pop a little bit of a rating, then that's fine, whatever, but it's going to be nothing. Unless Roman's going to be on both shows because of this stupid fucking wildcard rule, that's not going to make a difference. People are going to get over it. Putting the WWE Championship in the main event and having Roman versus Drew McIntyre in that same fucking hour was done on purpose. WWE wants to protect Roman Reigns. And if the ratings fall in the third hour below 2 million like it did last week, if it drops lower than it did last week, Vince McMahon will go, well, nobody wants to see Kofi. Everyone, he will blame the WWE Championship. He won't blame his awful booking. He won't blame the punishment of the Revival, having Baron Corbin and Braun Strowman versus Seth Rollins and AJ Styles. It's pretty much Seth Rollins and a partner of his choosing versus 2 of these guys, or 3 of them 2 and Drew McIntyre again and again and again and again and again and again and again, and it's getting fucking pathetic. You wonder why the ratings are down. We had last year Bayley and Sasha Banks with a partner of their choosing versus the Riot Squad. We're going to flip that around and go Seth Rollins and a partner or 2 of his choosing versus a 3-man bland. Rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat. So WWE decides, well, that's not the only thing we're going to rehash. Let's do Sami Zayn versus Braun Strowman again. Because back when Mick Foley was the Raw general manager, Sami Zayn wanted Braun Strowman. Mick Foley refused to give him Braun Strowman until Sami Zayn wanted to be traded to SmackDown Live, and Mick Foley faked him out and was like, I'm going to trade you to SmackDown Live for Eva Marie. He got pissed off, and then he gave him that match, and we had Braun Strowman versus Sami Zayn. Could you think of nothing better? What is this going to do for either of these guys? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely fucking nothing. It's all just... And now we have to wonder who's going to show up on SmackDown Live tomorrow. We have to wonder who's going to show up for SmackDown Live tomorrow. You all know Daniel Bryan wasn't winning the WWE Championship tonight. There were a lot of people saying, oh, well, we're going to get a triple threat at TLC. Not TLC, but Money in the Bank. We're going to have Kevin Owens come out, come through the crowd, beat down both of these guys, get the belt ring tomorrow night, then make it a triple threat match. That did not happen. Kofi Kingston won this in... this was a really lengthy match. The quote-unquote first WWE Championship match in almost 3 years, even though we had one the night after WrestleMania. Because, yes, it was title for title, but it was still the WWE Championship was on the line. This match was pretty good. Nowhere close to that match that they had at WrestleMania. Of course, the emotion of the crowd felt built into that match at WrestleMania. So, this is just... I don't know. I can't. I just can't anymore. This show is fucking shit. Vince McMahon should be ashamed of himself, but we all know Vince McMahon will never be ashamed of himself. Wonder why the ratings are down. Anybody who says the ratings don't matter, you're a fucking fool. Just look at what they tried to do tonight. The ratings matter. There are people in the television industry talking about, wow, wrestling's cold. If people don't realize, Vince McMahon and the ratings going down right now is damaging the like AEW in the wrestling in a whole in the TV industry. The ratings continue to fall and fall and fall. Hurts AEW more than it helps. People are like, oh, this is great. AEW is going to have this. It's going to help AEW and show. No, this is bad. Now, when AEW starts a Tuesday show, whatever the fuck they're gonna do, and AEW goes on, if they pop a big 4 or 5 point rating, and WWE continues to fall, that would be different. But right now, they don't have a TV slot. Right now, they don't have TV. They only have Double or Nothing, Fight for the Fallen, Fyter Fest, which I don't know what the fuck that's all about, and a couple other pay-per-views they're gonna do. Pay-per-view is one thing. They might get a good big buy on that. I have no idea. But they are going to... This is going to hurt them more than it helps them. Maybe that deal that they get is going to be a little bit less money. Maybe they get that deal, but it's not as good as it could have been. We'll have to wait and see on that. But this show is not helping anybody. WWE has got to stop. What we want to see is just things that make sense. We don't need to see the same thing over and over and over and over again. You brought Cedric Alexander from 205 Live, and you've used him once. You broke up the bar as far as we know. I know Sheamus is injured. Who knows what's going to happen with that? If Sheamus is not hurt, and once Sheamus gets better, if they want to put him on Monday Night Raw, that'd be fine, because then you would have the Bar, the Usos, the War Raiders, at least. And Gallows and Anderson, whatever they want to do with them. This show is just bad. I don't know what else to say. I would like to go into detail with this show, but this show is just not worth it. This was absolutely a pitiful attempt to get the ratings to go up. If the ratings go up, then they did their job, but they can't expect that to happen every single week. You got this wild card rule now into place. The brand split means absolutely fucking nothing. And WWE, Vince McMahon should be ashamed of himself. By the way, the lead writer for Monday Night Raw got fired on Thursday because Rajan Singh, the guy who plays Rajan Singh, the great Khali's manager, when he was the Punjabi Playboy, bitched and complained because the guy who was the lead writer of Raw was taking creative changes too seriously. Why wouldn't he take creative changes seriously? To literally taking the fact that Vince McMahon takes every fucking idea. This guy was the lead writer of Monday Night Raw, and Vince McMahon would come into the office on Monday and be like, "I'm changing everything." The title of lead writer of Monday Night Raw is just a name alone. The only person who is the lead writer of Raw and SmackDown is Vince McMahon. You are under him, and everything that comes out of your mouth or comes like you write down on paper means nothing. You could have the greatest episode of Monday Night Raw planned out for the next episode of Monday Night Raw, and you know what's going to happen? You're going to come to Raw, and nothing you planned out is going to happen because it's not a Vince McMahon idea. Why a 70-plus-year-old man is still running this company or even running creative is beyond me. This is absolutely pathetic. This is just, and the fact that he had the audacity to come out, this show is going to be a show that we never forget because I'm on it, because I am here. Please, motherfucker. Most people are going to forget about this show by tomorrow, or forget about the show by next week, because you know why? Nothing on this show matters. Nothing. You had two main matches on this show, one for the WWE Championship between two SmackDown superstars, and Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre, where one is on Raw and one is on SmackDown, and they're not going to be feuding every single fucking week. This show's not worth talking about much more. It's just WWE is reaching the breaking point with a lot of people. You had the Warriors and the Rockets going on today, and that game's probably in the fourth quarter right now. By the time I'm recording this, and I would like to go half an hour, like an hour or so, on like going over everything. But like I said, this show's not worth it. This show is abysmal. It was embarrassing at times, and just absolutely pathetic. I gave you the cliff notes. And I'm getting out of here. Find me on Twitter at TheFrance. Find me on twitch.tv/TheFrance08. Find me on Twitter at TheFrance Club. Find me on twitch.tv/TheFrance08. Hit that subscribe button. Comment down below. Like or dislike this video. And I will see you guys tomorrow for SmackDown Live, where we will know who is going to be crowned tag team champions. It's either the B team or Shane and Elias. Till then, I'm getting out of here because this show is just an embarrassment. You guys have a good one, and I'll see you guys later.